What's up, guys? Hell yeah, we're ready for episode 7 of Locked into Lunacy. It's a pretty good one tonight. How you guys all doing? Let's let maybe some people get in here while I get my notes together. Okay, we're gonna start this thing off. Episode 69. So we start with Vito and Russo arguing with each other backstage. Russo brings up PCO and how he knew nothing about their relationship. And then Vito wants to know about his relationship with his guy. We've seen in the last couple weeks, we've seen Russo talking to somebody we weren't able to see. If you guys seen the episode of Lunacy, which you should before you see the review, you know exactly who it is, but we'll get to that more on later. Relationships, talking about. Oh, and then we got Kerry Morton coming in and talking to Russo, basically saying, you better not have anything to do with Matt Cross and all that. And then I'll come in a little bit later in the review too. Vince Russo says, ask your dad about wrestling paranoia. What's up, headlock? Whoop whoop. But Kerry Morton starts bragging about, how he thinks he's the hottest shit ever to walk the earth kind of thing. And then Vince Russo's like, well, you got a American title match tonight. Divorce was final today. All right. Hell yeah. Awesome, man. Glad you guys stayed safe and kept a level head, and now you guys can make a future together. Awesome. Nice. I am going to get that autograph picture sometime, probably next month. I'll try to do it. Still got to figure out how I'm going to do it and everything, but yeah. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Locked into Lunacy. All right. Guys, feel free to put up any questions in the chat or anything like that. I'm just going to keep going with the review. But yeah, Kerry Morton gets the thanks for the likes. Kerry Morton gets the title, the American title match tonight. And Russo's just like, ask your dad about wrestling paranoia and stuff, because he's wondering if he's responsible for Matt Cross and all that. The commentators announced that there will be another edition of Coach's Corner tonight. We didn't get that. I'm not crazy, right? I even went over it again before tonight, and we get an advertisement for Coach's Corner, but it never comes in JCW. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have an edition of Coach's Corner in this episode. Then we'll have, they also announced that there'll be Cocaine putting his number one contenders spot on the line against Caleb Conley. I like how they pretty much blatantly ripped off WWE's Money in the Bank concept. Because you had the week before where he wins the number one contendership and it's in a briefcase and they won it in a ladder match, like the Money in the Bank. And then you can fight to defend the number one contender briefcase. So it's all but an exact kind of copy of Money in the Bank. I wonder if you can cash it in at any time, like Money in the Bank, or if it's just a feature match coming up or what. Also got PCO versus Mosh Pit Mike happening. A JCW tag team title match between the Brothers of Funstruction and the Outbreak. Those guys are always awesome. And then, of course, we got the main event, James Storm versus Mr. Anderson, crown a new JCW Lunacy champion, the first ever Lunacy champion. And guys, what do you think of that JCW Lunacy title? I think that shit looked pretty fresh. They talk about Facade cheating to win the American Championship last week. Then we got the Morton versus Facade match for the American title. We have Ninja Mac coming in to attack Facade at the end there. And Kerry Morton sees Matt Cross out in the crowd and he runs out to get him. So we got the continuation of both Facade and Ninja Mac. That's going to be awesome as we see them continue their rivalry for the American title. I always want to say the United States title or the U.S. title, like in WWE, but I always have to remember to say American title. And the continuation also of Morton and Matt Cross. Does anybody know? I think I'd like to see more of Ninja Mac and Facade more than I want to see, but I definitely want to know where they're going with Matt Cross and that whole thing. Vito says he's going to reveal who the Bros of Construction are tonight and possibly how they're connected to the Mafia. Also, another thing that weirdly doesn't happen. There is a lot of stuff with Big Vito tonight in the episode, but for some reason, there's a couple things that announced that never happened. James Storm's cutting a promo about how he's going to beat Mr. Anderson's face in for the JCW Championship tonight. Yeah, that happens. Big Al goes up to Vince Russo. Well, he's on the phone with his daughter or something. It seems like she's thinking about buying a motorcycle or something, and he's like, "What's up?" And then she's like, "Oh, never mind." Weird segment. I think this segment was meant to be like, "Oh, I'm coming after you with another blackmail kind of thing with my false allegations of you sending me pictures or whatever," and then, oh, he's just a family man. He's a good guy. Maybe I'll lay off of him. That's what I took from it. Then we got PCO versus Mosh Pit Mike. Mosh Pit's gimmick this week is the Quebecer. PCO is introduced as being is representing the Luciano family. So clearly, maybe Vito is starting some kind of faction. And, of course, PCO wins. Squash match. PCO is a beast, man. Then the Brothers of Construction say that they don't care if Vito knows who they really are. That they just have to focus on the outbreak tonight. And, yeah. Haley J gets attacked by J-Rod backstage, who's getting revenge for something that happened in OVW. Apparently, there's some old beef that happened between J-Rod and Haley J back in OVW. Don't really know. I'm sure that might be explained later on in this storyline as time goes on. And then we got Anderson cutting a promo. So we had James Storm, and now we got Anderson cutting a promo about how James Storm's not gonna be the same after tonight, after he beats him. The only people that don't know that Anderson's gonna win the title tonight are those damn juggalos. Those people with the painted faces and whatnot. So he's clearly playing the heel. And then Jasmine blames Vito for the Monsters of Construction not being there this week. Basically, he's on his phone betting on some sports, and then she comes up and curses him out and slaps him and everything. He's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Now you're going to learn," basically. And so that's gonna happen. We're gonna see that. Haley J calls out J Rod and out into the ring, and they fight out into the crowd, and they take it back to the ring. Amazing Maria comes out, she tries to help Haley. She gets knocked out, so they're both left in the middle of the ring, and J Rod makes her point. So, yeah, interesting addition to the new interesting new addition, sorry, to the women's division in JCW. Apparently, this girl is also going to be an American Gladiator, a reboot of that show. So that's kind of interesting. And then backstage, we see Russo say tonight is the night. Oh, yeah. Russo saying tonight is the night. There's no turning back. Let's get this done tonight. And he's talking to his secret guy that apparently might be the new showrunner. We know who that is, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. New JCW PLE. Stranglemania in Las Vegas. We're getting Stranglemania, man. Why did JCW have both a Stranglemania and a Bloody Mania? I think Stranglemania came first, and that was like DVD related. I think Stranglemania was originally like, wasn't that their Headlock? You might know. Wasn't that their like what they called their DVDs or their VHS tapes of like hardcore wrestling and like other promotions that they would like commentate over as 3D and Guido. Let me know if I got that right, but I think that's where the origin of the name Stranglemania comes in, and then Bloody Mania has always been like their WrestleMania that happens at the gathering of the Juggalos, but it's just weird now that they have two PLEs with Mania in the title. It's pretty sick though. It's going to be in Las Vegas. I hope it's going to be an awesome show. It's going to have lots of guys there. I forgot who's all going to be on it. We're going to have the Good Brothers. Nick Nemeth's going to be back. It's a bunch of people I can't remember right now, but a bunch more people than we usually have in JCW. There's going to be a bunch of guests, basically. And yeah, no matches announced yet for it, but yeah, we'll just have to see what the weeks leading up to it look like, and then we'll judge the PLE when we get to that episode. We got Vito walks into the ladies' room and sees Jasmine St. Clair laying on the floor. He put a head out on her, and Mickey Knuckles basically took her out and everything. And she's counting his money, and they're flirting a little bit. And then he hears Violent J's music start to play again, and he sees Violent J's face paint design on the mirror. And yeah, so it's only a matter of time before Violent J comes back. Sorry about this cough, man. Violent J has dropped my headphones over there. Violent J is probably going to come back at this Stranglemania then. Would probably be the perfect time for the match between Violent J and Big Vito to happen, I'm thinking. And then we have Caleb Conley versus Cocaine for the number 1 contender spot. And then it's a pretty decent match. And then Cocaine wins the match, and then Jeeves gets a distraction for Conley to get some more hits in on him and everything. And then Caleb Conley, turns on Jeeves and the Ring Rat, and he turns out to be Vince Russo's new guy. Will Caleb Conley be the showrunner? What does this alliance mean between Russo and Caleb Conley? Uh, Let me know if you guys got any predictions about where this could possibly go. But we see, so earlier on in the night, I think we were meant to be believed that Russo was going to be more of a face to Big Vito's heel. But of course, they're both heels. Vito's got stuff going on with PCO and with Mickey Knuckles. And then at the same time, we also have Russo getting the alliance with Caleb Conley. So they're both doing their heel thing, both gaining allies. Uh, Man, I really like Vince Russo's writing. Man, what can I say? It's been great for JCW right now with all the interconnected stories, and just you never run out of shit going on. Feel like in other promotions you can have all these spots where there's good talent, but there's just nothing going on with them storyline lines, and that's just not the case in JCW. If you watch JCW, you know you can pick out anybody in the roster and you know what they're doing storyline wise, basically. Um, can't really be said for Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony. I guess they've been out of it for a couple of weeks, but everybody that's on the show normally, like you can definitely do that with. Like, just think about one wrestler's storyline and how it connects to like a bunch of other wrestler storylines. I don't know, it's pretty freaking cool. Then we got the Brothers of Construction versus the Outbreak, and this match just evolves into a brawl that they take all the way into the crowd and then outside the building, backstage and everything. So we're kind of cheated. We don't really get a JCW tag team title match. But we know we're going to see more of these two guys going head to head. Maybe we'll get something in the future like a Falls Count Anywhere match or a last man standing match or a cage match or something like that where they can't run. Then we get the Blast from the Past, past Bloody Mania with Ultimo Dragon versus Jimmy Jacobs. Ultimo wins, of course. And we have the Outbreak continuing to fight the Brothers of Construction backstage. And we have the main event, James Storm versus Mr. Anderson. Pretty good match. And James Storm pretty much has the advantage already. And then he, uses that distraction. You guys seen it with my short. If you haven't seen my short of the main event, go see that. It's got like 30 something likes already. It's got like 300 something views. I got like 4 new subscribers off of it. By the way, guys, if you're watching and you like what you see, you like talking JCW, or you just like to help a small channel out, hell yeah, hit those likes. Give me some more subs. Man, I appreciate any love I can get. I know I'm kind of limited production wise, just a guy doing what he can with what he's got, and I'm starting at the bottom and working my way up. I've only been doing this for 5 months, and I hope to do it forever, man. But yeah, please show your boys some support, and freaking love you guys. But yeah, so James Storm distracts the ref with that beer bottle and then hits him with the title, pins him, becomes the new JCW Lunacy champion, and then starts beating the crap out of him afterwards. And then JCW goes off the air. Pretty good JCW. Even though they're starting to get longer now, I feel like this week didn't feel quite as long as last week. Yeah, man. What do you guys think about Mr. Anderson as the new JCW title holder, the new JCW champion? Hell yeah. I definitely think uh I definitely think that James Storm is going to have it at some point in the future just because he's a crowd favorite. Um, what do you think of the possibility? I'd like to know, guys. Leave it in the comments, man. What do you think of the possibility of? Well, we know what's going to happen, but what do you think of what will be the outcome of a Cocaine versus Mr. Anderson match? Because we know that's coming next because he's got a #1 contender spot. Um, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. So there's Mr. Anderson versus Cocaine in the future. There's Brothers of Funstruction versus Outbreak in the future. There's whatever's going to happen with Kerry Morton and Matt Cross in the future. Um, there's one other thing Ninja Mac and Facade, the American title. Um, yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is going to come full circle and at least should be ended before we get some new storyline stuff at leading up to the Stranglemania PLE. So hell yeah, man! Cannot wait for Stranglemania. Can't wait for next week's JCW. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys have an awesome night. Thanks for showing up for the live. Thanks for supporting me. If that's all, nobody has any questions or anything. If you think about anything later, you can put it in the comments. This will be a YouTube video up tomorrow sometime. Much Wicked Clown love, man. Whoop whoop. Pickle Rick's out.